Now is one of those times when I have to share the truth and I have to hope and trust you will listen. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to lose the script and I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom. We have so much to look forward to, so much promise and potential of where we are, and so much reason for hope. But right now I'm scared.
Emotion from the head of the CDC showing concern that Americans are returning to normal life too soon. That as the president announced that 90% of adults will be eligible to get the vaccine within the next 3 weeks, and results of a study that both Pfizer and Moderna's vaccine are 90% effective in preventing COVID in real-world settings. For more on these developments, we go live to NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil in Washington, D.C. tonight.
Yeah, Nicole, you could hear that concern, right, from the White House, from health officials today. Serious concern because they say that we are on path potentially for another surge in cases. Look, from the White House the past couple of weeks, the only thing that we've heard has really been celebrating the success of the vaccination program. And while the data does show there's reason to be optimistic about that, they say, again, there are some serious concerns. And the message today was we are not out of the woods yet on this COVID situation, and the American people need to collectively remain diligent.
This is not politics. Reinstate the mandate if you let it down.
President Biden today pleading with the nation's governors to reinstate mask mandates, even as he touts a steady rise in vaccination rates, now nearing 3 million shots a day.
We're in the life and death race with the virus that is spreading quickly. With cases rising again, new variants are spreading, and sadly, some of the reckless behavior we've seen on television over the past few weeks means that more new cases are to come in the weeks ahead.
Over the past week, cases are again on the rise, and the steep decline since January in hospitalizations has now halted. That number now holding steady. Her voice shaking with urgency, today the CDC director issued a stark warning.
And I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom.
Walensky said she was scared and pleaded with the public to recommit to safety guidelines.
The trajectory of the pandemic in the United States looks similar to many other countries in Europe, including Germany, Italy, and France. Looked like just a few weeks ago. And since that time, those countries have experienced a consistent and worrying spike in cases.
The warnings come as signs of pandemic fatigue among the public set in. Sunday alone, the TSA screened 1.5 million flyers, the most of any day in more than a year. While officials race to vaccinate, concerns persist over disparities in who's getting shots and who isn't. Some pilot program sites meant to get vaccinations to underserved communities are ending in a few weeks. Local officials warned of the impact.
The Coliseum site is an opportunity for us to continue to provide vaccination to both hard-to-hit communities and populations.
A site in East Los Angeles is also closing, prompting Congressman Jimmy Gomez to write FEMA, insisting the site stay open to serve, quote, hard-hit communities, people who are low income, communities of color, immigrant communities, and frontline essential workers. And picking up right there, there is still strong evidence that those disparities in who's getting vaccinated and who's not still remain a challenge. Communities of color, some rural communities are not getting vaccinated at the same rates as the rest of the country is. President Biden did share some welcome news, though, about the vaccination, and he says that in the next 3 weeks, 90% of all eligible adults will be eligible for a vaccine in the United States. Reporting live tonight in Washington, D.C., Joe Khalil, NewsNation.